How are you? My name's Sener Korkusuz. Happy to be here today and looking forward to doing this interview. Growing up in Sayreville, New Jersey, I never thought about starting my own business or running my own business. It was just something that I had not been exposed to. I imagined myself and envisioned myself wearing a suit and being an executive and working in an office and working my way up the corporate ladder. Fortunately, my senior year of high school, a high school friend, a good longtime friend of mine, came to me and introduced me to the idea of working for myself, of starting a business together. And that was the beginning of my entrepreneurship, which I owe a debt of gratitude to my friend and partner in other ventures, Ryan DePaul, who helped me see the light of working for myself. And I think that was because his father worked for himself, and that passed on to him, and it rubbed off on me, fortunately. My father was a hard worker. He worked in the factory in Newark, New Jersey. He became a manager. He showed me the value of hard work, and he instilled in me, above all, to do well in school, to do well and to push myself, and to not be settling for less than I'm capable of. My father would tell me not to complain whenever I would get upset or even get excited about a success. He would tell me not to complain, and I never understood what that meant. But today I do. It means keep looking forward. Don't stay on your successes and don't dwell on your failures. Keep pushing forward always. And I owe him a lot for instilling that in me. I picked up programming at an early age. At the age of 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, I owe it to my father once again. He put the computer in my hand, a Commodore 64 computer, which I'm sure people have heard of, but it's very old. I used that computer not for programming, not for business, but for video games. When the games would break, I fixed them. And I connected with the computer. I'd sit down in the basement and use the computer, and nobody would bother. And I was left alone to be in the world, an amazing world, inside that computer. And that was early on. That was probably early 80s. That began my love affair with technology and with computers. I went from using that computer to teaching myself how to program. I knew how to program before I took classes in high school. In my high school programming class, I practically made the first GTA video games before they existed, and not even knowing what I was doing. And that's a story of my career. I being from a programming background and not a business background, have often done work not knowing what the end game was. Today I stand here knowing with a little more experience how important it is to know the end game before you actually get started. But that being said, I went from being a programmer in high school to New Jersey Institute of Technology. I didn't go for computer science. I pushed myself. I went for computer engineering. I graduated cum laude at the top of my class, and I had been working for myself through college. I started working, as I said earlier, at 17 with an old partner, Ryan DePaul, my friend. We started in an advertising business. And the first time it clicked for me is when we went to New York City to pick up and meet a client of ours, or to sell a client. And after that meeting, when we were given the money and that cash was put in my hand, everything clicked for me that I wanted to work for myself, and that was the start of the future, and to this day where I find myself now. First client as Earthskater was a unique project. It was a custom online store. That was the foundation of what Earthskater has become today. That online store, created in and around the year 2000, has evolved to support hundreds of clients across the world and be the foundation of Earthskater. Our first client, David Smith of eFoam Store in Pennsylvania, a wonderful guy, and he's still our client till this day. So many years later, 15, 16 years later. I think that's a testament to relationships, to being in it for the long term, and that's always been my goal, is to have a long-term relationship with our clients. It hasn't been easy, not at all, but it's been very rewarding and building little by little to get to where I am today. So at that time, I didn't even know what an online store was. I researched, I reviewed what existed, I looked at competition, and I created an online store. And it wasn't just any online store, it was a custom online store for selling customized pieces of foam. This width, this length, this height, enter it, choose your shape, choose your style, and the price was put there and ready for purchase immediately. David Smith is using that shopping cart, that online store, till this day, and I'm really happy and proud of the work that I've done to know that it stood the test of time. Starting out, that was always one of my concerns in the back of my head. Is my programming good enough? Is it going to be safe for my clients? Are they going to have issues? I doubted because I was inexperienced. Obviously, I hadn't serviced clients and seen the results myself. Now, you might say I lacked the belief in myself, but I didn't even have the belief or not have the belief. I was just doing work. When you start a business, and many people, the majority of people do, you just rush into the work. You work yourself, and that's what I was doing at that time. I wasn't focused on sales. I wasn't focused on marketing or advertising. That was actually my partner's job, and I was content to let him deal with that. Only later did I learn that was a mistake, that I have to wear these other hats and learn and expand my education and my experience. And that came to be needed when my original partnership in Earthskater dissolved. So Earthskater was originally a partnership, and at some point I acquired the company 100%. Because the partners were going in different directions, I made a decision that my direction was to go forward with Earthskater. My partner Ryan DePaul at the time chose a different direction, and we split agreeably. And that was also a big learning experience for myself, to have a partnership and then to dissolve a partnership is a big deal. Obviously it went well, because to this day I'm still friends with Ryan, and we are also partners in another startup, American Sevens Football League, the A7FL, which is an amazing startup with tons of press and publicity, and with my old friend and old partner. So it's another testament to relationships and doing good work. It didn't take a lot of money to start the business. We did have an office early on. We did have an employee cold calling. And in that time, in the year around the early 2000s, the internet was still wide open. You can cold call, you can make sales all day long. So it was really good. We invested very little. maybe just a few hundred or a few $1,000s each at the most. Office supplies, rent, and we were profitable very quickly. Not very profitable, but profitable enough to cover our expenses. My biggest benefit and the biggest strength that I had in starting my own business was that I was still living at home. My parents were supporting me in that way. They had always told me, you can live at home until you get married. This is an old traditional thinking, being Turkish and first generation. That was what I was told, and that's what I knew. I this day appreciate it much more than I did then, looking back. I thank my parents. I owe them everything that I have today. The success that I've made is all due to the work they've put in and how they've raised me. So with little investment and the support of my parents, I was able to become an entrepreneur. I didn't have to worry about rent. I didn't have to worry about other things that make it difficult for other entrepreneurs to get started, that force them to start on a part-time basis. I was in it full-time while going to school. That being said, anybody can start a business, but that's to work yourself. Anybody can rush into a business and start working it. After all of these years, looking back, my advice to you is don't rush into business and start working it. Think it first. Think it through. The business plan is vital. It sounds like a joke when you're inexperienced. What's good will a business plan do for me? But when you're experienced, the business plan makes all the difference. It's the ticket and the signal that investors and other successful entrepreneurs can see that you know what you're doing. You know how to make a business plan. You know how to write a pitch deck. You know how to write an executive summary. It seems silly and it seems like a joke when you're starting in business, those things, and what value they can provide to you. But having been through it many years later, I'm actually very happy that I'm able to create those documents now, and they're enabling me to open doors to investment and more success. I spent tons of hours at the computer, and only recently have I started to limit that and really focus on spending less time at the computer. But in the beginning and up till recently, I've spent immeasurable numbers of hours at the computer. Early on, I recall my father and brother sitting me down and asking me, "Are you sure you want to continue working for yourself? Are you sure you don't want to go to work for someone else while you work on your own business on the side?" And I knew at that time, and that's when I found the confidence that I do know I want to work for myself. I'm one of the best at what I do. I knew it then. And still to this day, I'm getting the word out to the world so other people know, to network. I knew I was one of the best at what I did at being a programmer. And I told my father, yes, I'm going to keep working for myself. That was a big time for me. And yeah, I had spent so much time working the business in the early days because part of it was lack of direction, not knowing what to do. You work on this, you work on that, you work on this, and you have to experiment to see what works. So being inexperienced, I didn't spend enough money into the business. That was our biggest issue. You have to spend to make. You have to spend on advertising. You have to spend on marketing. You have to hire the experts to help you. I over the years became as close of an expert as I can in all of those fields: marketing, advertising, design, programming, business, networking. All of those areas I had to learn on my own, and maybe that's what it took before I was comfortable enough to start hiring them out. Not everybody will follow the same path. Some people are comfortable to hire from day one. Maybe if you're more comfortable making with your hands, you're less comfortable to hire it out, and you're more likely to work it yourself. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I don't know which one and which way is better. I'm happy I'm a programmer that I can make something myself. But it only took me this many years to realize that I'll never achieve the level of success and the scale and magnitude of success I want working it myself. So those people who early on realized that they can hire out and scale quicker and not have to work it themselves, they're fortunate in that way. I believe I have an advantage in being able to make something myself. But in the end, apples to apples, when you compare success to success, I think that's irrelevant. The path that you took is important, but the end measure is what everyone looks at. So I don't think it matters if you hire people or work it yourself. At some point, you're going to come to the same end of the road where you need to scale it and hire out. So either way, you have to learn and experience each position so you know how to manage and hire it properly. EarthSkater is a software as a service online store provider. We help small merchants across the country and across the world to sell products online. Whether they're selling a product or a service, a one-time purchase, retail or wholesale, or subscription billing, or downloadable products, we cover all of the angles. Our online store is fully functional, but the key to EarthSkater, what sets us apart from other online stores in the marketplace and other web design companies, is our service. So not only have we are the developer of our own online store, but we also do a fully complementary, a complete website setup for all of our clients. So unlike the do-it-yourself options, we do it for our clients. That's what sets EarthSkater apart. That's why our clients have stuck with us for the long term, because we also provide ongoing services. So we started out trying to be a one-stop shop, and to this day we still are very much a one-stop shop. We've made plenty of awesome partnerships with industry experts and leading service providers throughout the market, so we can offer our clients the best results and the best references whenever needed. EarthSkater is a specialist in online stores. We create websites, we do web design. We have clients who may have a simple blogging website to clients who have thousands of customers and hundreds of orders every day with recurring billing subscriptions and vital our online store is a vital part of their infrastructure, and it needs to be up 24/7 and running without issue. So I'm very proud to say that we're capable and have helped many clients to succeed online. Another key benefit of EarthSkater is affordability. So EarthSkater not only creates an unbelievable online store with a complimentary setup, something with a value of over $1,000 for only a few $100s a month. EarthSkater has packages from $20 a month, so anybody can get started and higher end packages at $75 to a few $100s a month gives you all of the bells and whistles. The alternative is creating a custom website, a custom online store, spending thousands up front and still potentially not getting the flexible type of solution that our client desires. Many of our clients prefer the low-cost options that Earthskater provides, and when we've saved them a ton of money and really helped them to succeed in business where they may have been less likely otherwise. Some things I'd like to tell entrepreneurs, if there's an entrepreneur out there looking at this video today and you may be wanting to start your business, you may have already started your business, you may have failed your first business and wondering whether you should do it again. The number one thing about entrepreneurship is passion. You cannot just fake passion. Passion is contagious. When you meet someone with passion, you know it clicks for you. If you have that passion, which I'm guessing you do because you're watching this video, then you're already ahead of the game. Each step that you can take to separate yourself from the other entrepreneurs, from your competition, so to speak, or your co-opetition, because they really could help you. You can really cooperate with entrepreneurs, but the fact is each step you take to differentiate yourself puts you ahead. So you have the differentiation of your passion, you have your skill, you have your contacts, you have your initiative. So you combine these things, which are very esoteric things, but what you get out of this is the foundation, the mindset to succeed. So what I'm telling you is use that passion, push yourself, fail often is a saying, and what it means is you have to experiment to learn. Trial and error. Don't make huge mistakes. Protect yourself from taking very risky experiments, but don't just not experiment at all. So find that middle ground that works for you. Yes, it costs money to experiment, it costs time to experiment. You have to learn to spend money, and I know you know how to spend time. That's one thing everybody, the majority, can do quickly, but spending money is important as well. You have to learn, and the only way to learn is to experiment. Another tip that I'd like to share is how you measure your success. I'll just put this tip out there that I measure my success from my birthday to my birthday. So I count my year from my birthday to my birthday. I don't count it from New Year's to New Year's. And it may seem silly, but that trick helps me to gauge my success. So my birthday has just passed a few days ago, and I'm just so happy with how much I've accomplished in the last year. I'm really amazed by how much I've accomplished, and I know that I'm going to accomplish that much more this year, without a doubt. I'd like to share those tips with you, and I'd like to also offer that anybody who has a question, who would like to ask me personally, I'm open to helping you. So please reach out to us, reach out to Earthskater, reach out to myself, whether at Earthskater through our website at earthskater.com or through my LinkedIn page, which I'm very active on social media. Connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Twitter, and I'll be happy to help.